Hello there, what is this video about?
Welcome. In this video, we'll explore the integration of AI with Reallusion Characters within the Unreal Engine. This enables characters to engage in realistic conversations and to comprehend their environment, allowing them to perform actions and interact within their surroundings.
Can you follow me?
Sure I can. Lead the way.
Hello and welcome. In this tutorial, we're going to see how we can add AI functionality to Reallusion characters inside Unreal. With Convai, these AI-powered Reallusion characters can talk to you or other AI characters, perceive their surroundings, and execute various cool actions easily. We'll be covering how to export a character from Reallusion's Character Creator 4 to Unreal Engine, demonstrate how to craft a character's mind, add animations and actions, and finally enable a character to perceive its surroundings. To begin with, we are in CC4, Character Creator 4, and we're going to export a character. Here I'll use one of the existing characters. I'll add actors under the Actors tab, select Character, then Close. Here we have a bunch of ready-to-use characters. I'm going with CC4 Kevin. I'll drag it over here, now it's imported. We're also going to need some animations. Currently, if you go to Motion, you'll find under Perform that there are a few animations already loaded onto the character. For example, an idle animation that we're going to need. Okay, so we have the idle animation. We also have a walking animation. This all looks pretty good, but we'll also need a talking animation. I'm going back to the browser here, and we'll look under Animation. We can search for something like Talk. So some of these are facial animations, not body talking animations. We want a body talking animation, so let's keep scrolling. This one looks good. Let's see what else we have. This one seems a bit too active, so we can keep scrolling. This one is okay, but I see that the character is moving his legs a little bit. We recommend animations where the character is not moving their legs, as it seems more natural. For example, this one looks pretty nice. We want to import this animation now. Right-click and find the file. Here's the directory of the file. I can just copy the URL and then go back to the Character Creator tool. Click on Motion, go to the Performance List Editor, click Add, and paste the same URL here. Then you can find and import as a character. Once you do this, you can see now that the animation is loaded under the Performance section.
Hi there, I'm a digital character created with Character Creator. And as you can see, I can act, talk, and have lively expressions. I look forward to being part of your upcoming animation works.
Okay, so this is our talking animation. Of course, we'll take it without the audio. We also have a dance animation here. We can do some really cool stuff with this animation inside Unreal Engine. It seems like we have everything we need. We have the character and some animations to begin with. Now let's try to export the character. I'm going to File, then Export FBX, and Clothed Character. Here we need to make sure that we are exporting both the mesh and motion. Max texture size can be set to highest. Make sure that under Include Motion, the setting is custom. Then click on this icon. Now you can see all the animations we have in the Performance section. We only want a few of these: the standing chat, the dance animation, the walking animation, and perhaps the first idle animation. We can add more idle animations later. Make sure that first frame is checked and export mesh and motion individually. Save one motion per file and delete hidden faces are all selected. That's basically it. Now let's hit export and click OK. I'm going to navigate to another location and give it a name. Let's say the character's name is Kevin. So here I'll name it Kevin and hit save. It'll start the exporting process. Now that all our meshes and animations are exported, let's move on to the next system. We need to craft the character's AI in terms of a backstory, voice, etc. We'll go over to convai.com and we'll need to sign in. I already have some characters created here, but let's go ahead and create a new character. I'm going to choose a name, so I'll choose Kevin, which is the same name as we had in Character Creator. Then I'm going to add a very simple backstory. Born in Character Creator 4, powered by AI. You can talk and act within Unreal Engine, creating a whole new world of interaction. That's our goal, right? We can now choose a voice. Here we have a few choices. We have Convai voices and some from GCP, Azure, and 11 Lab services. In this case, let's go with one of the 11 Labs voices. Alright, we'll select this one and we can listen to it.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Okay, we'll choose this one and create the character. We can test this character right here in the chat window.
I am Kevin, a character created in Character Creator 4 and powered by AI.
You can also explore language and speech options and change the language and make it multilingual so it can understand multiple languages. For example, we could add English and Spanish. You can also add information to a knowledge bank, which is basically custom knowledge that the character can know about. You can also adjust the personality and style and add catchphrases if you like. So please feel free to explore this area and keep in mind that new features are added all the time. Alright, let's proceed with the next step. To add our Reallusion character to Unreal Engine, we're going to create a new project from scratch. I'm going to select the first person template and name it something like Reallusion AI Tutorial. Now let's hit create. Once Unreal Engine is open, let's go ahead and create a new folder. We'll call this folder Kevin Reallusion. This folder will contain the assets for our character. Here let's create two new subfolders, one for animations to hold the animations and another to hold the character itself. Let's go into the character folder. Remember that we exported characters from Character Creator 4 and we generated an FBX file. Let's drag and drop that here. Choose high quality shaders and give it a moment to load. When the import menu appears, go to the advanced settings and click on Mark Use T0 as reference pose. And also import morph targets. Then click import all. This could take a few minutes. Now that the character is imported, let's do the same thing for animations. Go to the animations folder and do the same thing, except this time we're going to select only the animations that we have. In the import menu, we don't need a mesh, so uncheck import mesh. For the skeleton, let's use the same skeleton that we just imported, which is the Kevin skeleton that we got from Reallusion. Under animation, this is optional, but it sometimes makes the import process faster. Set custom sample rate to 30, then click import all. Now that we have our character and the animations, we can move on to the AI integration. For that, we'll need the Convai plugin. You can find this on the Unreal Engine Marketplace, just search for Convai. I already own the plugin, so I'll click Install to Engine and install. This takes a bit of time. Once it's downloaded, you'll need to restart the editor, close it again and open it. Then you'll need to enable the plugin. Go to Edit, Plugins, search for Convai, and make sure to enable it. It'll ask you to restart again, so click Restart. Once the editor opens up again, we'll need to create a new blueprint. Right-click and create Blueprint class, expand all classes, and search for the Convai base character. Select it and name it something like Kevin_BP. Now let's open this up. Here we'll add the skeleton mesh that we have. Click Add, go to the Skeleton Mesh section, and select the skeleton mesh of the character, which is Kevin. Okay, so right now we have the character. Let's try to drag it into the scene. Don't mind the warning, that's okay. You can see that we can rotate the character around. To finalize this, we'll have to do two things. First, select the character in the scene. Under the Details panel, you have to fill in the character ID. We'll go back to the Convai website, and here's the character ID that we need. Just copy it, and back in Unreal, paste the character ID here. This is the first thing to set up the character. The other thing you need to do is go back to the website and get your API key. Click on the little key icon and just copy it. The API key is what determines which account to use for this character. Back in Unreal Engine, go to Project Settings, scroll all the way down until you find Convai, and paste your API key in the plugin setting. The last thing we'll need to do is adjust the player blueprint. Go to the first person character blueprint. This is basically our first person character, the player. Open up the player blueprint, go to Class Settings, and under Parent Class in the Details panel, change the character to Convai base player. Now compile and save. Now that's done, let's give it a quick test. Hit play and we should be able to talk to the character using the T key. Hey, who are you and what are you doing here?
I am Kevin, a character created in Character Creator 4. I am here to interact with you in the environment within Unreal Engine.
Okay, so that's the basic AI functionality. Let's see how we can add the animations that we've created and make the character come to life. To add animations to the character, we need an animation blueprint. We've prepared an animation blueprint that we can use right away. You need to go to the link in the description of the animation blueprint, find the latest version, currently it is 0.2, and right-click and download. Once it is downloaded, open the zip file and move it to your project directory. Just drag and drop the contents right here into the project directory. Now go back to Unreal Engine. You should be able to find a new folder called Convai Reallusion. Here you can see that we have an animation blueprint. Let's start to set it up. Double click on the animation blueprint and click yes when prompted. It will ask you to select the skeleton, so select the Reallusion skeleton that we have imported and click OK. Make sure that you're inside the animation graph. You can access the animation graph from here by clicking on this icon. From here we'll need to connect the animations that we imported. For example, you can see we can connect the idle animation here. Go to the content drawer and the animations folder. From here you can simply drag and drop the idle animation and connect it. Now do the same thing for the talking animation. We also have a listen or think animation. This animation is when the character is listening to the player or thinking about a response. They haven't started talking yet. If you don't have a listen or think animation, it's okay. If you have one, you can delete this, unpin this, and remove this, and add one of your animations here. But if you don't have any, just leave it as the default. We also have a walking animation, so let's go ahead and grab that now. Finally, we have a transition animation. This kind of animation is an intermediate animation between idle and talking. Why is this important? Let's say, for example, in the idle animation, the character's hands are behind him, but in the talking animation, the character's hands are in front of him. If you transition from idle to talking directly, the character's hands will go through his body. But with a transition animation, it will finish, go to the transition animation, and then go to the talking animation. So the transition animation is an intermediate animation between these other two animations. If you don't have a transition animation, it is recommended to leave it as idle. Select the node and from the default value, set it to idle. I think the idle animation we imported is Kevin Idle 01, so go ahead and select it. We're now done, but one very important point is that for each animation that you've imported, click it and make sure that it loops. So you need to make sure that loop animation is set to true for all animations. This is really important. Okay, let's compile and save this. Finally, we want to set the animations on the character itself. So go to our character blueprint, select the skeletal mesh, and under animation class, select our animation blueprint, which is called Convai Reallusion Anim Blueprint. Alright, once that's done, you should see that the character is already moving. One last component we want to add if we want lip sync is to add the Convai face sync. This is responsible for lip sync in the character. So let's give this a quick test. Hello there, can you tell me something about yourself?
Sure. I am Kevin, a character created in Character Creator 4 and powered by AI. I can talk and interact within Unreal Engine, creating a whole new world of interaction.
That's very cool. Can you tell me a story about yourself?
Absolutely. Once I found myself in a digital cityscape where I met various characters and helped them solve puzzles by communicating and working together, creating a sense of camaraderie in a virtual world.
That's nice, thank you.
You're welcome. If you have any more questions or if there's anything else I can assist you with, feel free to let me know.
Now that the character has conversation capabilities, let's see how we can add actions to the character so he can move around and understand the scene. To make the character able to move around, we need to add a navigation mesh. We can do that by going to Window, Place Actors. Here, search for Nav. Look for Nav Mesh Bounds Volume. We're just going to add this volume and zoom out a little. So we can add the volume right around here. You can see the box. We just need to make it larger so that it covers the whole ground area. Now if you hit P on the keyboard, you'll see a green color. This means that the character is able to move into any green area. Areas with no green color mean that the character is not able to move to them. Okay, so I'm going to hit P again and go back to the normal mode. Now all that we need to do is hit play and give it a test. Hey, can you follow me?
Sure, I can do that. Where are we heading?
Okay, so the character is able to follow us, but you might have noticed that its movement speed is much higher than the walking animation that we've set. To fix that, and it's really easy, just go to Character Blueprint and select Movement Component. And from here you can set the max walk speed so that it matches the walking animation. I've done a few tests and found that 90 works well for the walking animation that we've chosen. Now I'm going to compile and save and give it another try. Hey, can you follow me?
Sure, I can do that. Where are we heading?
Okay, so you can see that's much better now. Can you stop following me?
Of course, I'll stop following you now.
Now let's see how we can get the character to understand some of the objects in the environment and be able to do actions with them. For example, we can add this box to the list of objects that this character knows about. To do that, click on the character, then under Details, find Objects and add a new object. From here, expand the object entry. For reference, you can select an object from the scene, so pick Active from Scene and simply select the box. Then you'll need to give it a name. For example, we can use the name Box. Now let's give it a test. Hey, can you go to the box and then back to me?
Sure, I can do that.
You can also add some context to the objects in the scene. For example, we can add an extra description like it contains a treasure. So let's ask the character, hey, what does the box contain?
The box contains a treasure. Would you like to open it and see what's inside?
Now let's see how we can add more actions to the character. Right now, out of the box, the character is able to move to objects, follow the player or another character or object. There are a few other actions. If you select the character under Actions, you can see all the things he can do. For example, you can ask him to wait a few seconds and then do something. All of these actions are integrated out of the box. But what if you want to add more actions? To do that, you'll first need to enable the action system. You can do this by going to the project settings under Convey and from here enabling New Action System. If you remember from the start of the tutorial, we imported a dancing animation. If we navigate to Animations, we can see that we have indeed a dancing animation. Let's say that we wanted to add a new action that gets the character to dance using this animation. So when we ask the character to show us a dance, it's going to play the animation. To do that, we have to prepare it by putting it inside a montage. Right-click on the animation, go to Create, and then create an animation montage. This is going to create a new asset, and we'll call it Dance Montage. That's the first step, preparing the animation. Now let's save and select the character. Go to Actions. Since this is a new animation, you'll have to add a new action. This action is going to be dances, for example. The final part is that you need to go to the character blueprint, go to the event graph, and add a new event. I'm going to add a custom event here. This custom event name needs to be the same as the action name, which is dances. So here, go ahead and create an event with the exact same name. Next, we'll need to play the animation. I'm going to use Play Montage. From here, it'll ask you for the skeletal mesh. You should choose the skeletal mesh for the character. Then it will ask you for the montage. Select the dance animation or the dance montage. Finally, once this animation is completed, it is very important to call a function called the Convey Animation Component. Grab the Convey Animation Component here, and over here, just run the function Handle Animation Completion and set is successful to true. So when the animation is done or interrupted, it should call this function. This is very important to call after each action. This is all you need to get the character to dance when you ask him to. So let's compile and save and give it a try. Hey, can you show me a dance move?
Sure, I'd be happy to show you a dance. Let's get started.
Alright, let's go to the box, then back to me, then do the dance again.
Absolutely, let's do this. After that, I'll come back to you and dance again.
Nice. Now I want you to do the same thing, but this time when you go to the box, I want you to wait for 3 seconds before coming back to me. Then do the dance move once more.
Got it. I'll head to the box, wait for 3 seconds, come back to you, and then dance.
So far, this was just a demonstration of what you can do inside Unreal Engine using Convey. However, the sky's the limit, so please feel free to experiment with your own actions. The action system has a lot more capabilities, so check out our other tutorials on this feature. Thanks for watching the video and have a great day. As always, come by our Discord for any questions or email us at support@convai.com.